there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how are you doing? So, this is an ASMR video where we're going to talk calmly and quietly about all of the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League matches over the last match day, and then we're going to look ahead and do some predictions for the next match day. We'll be talking about goals, results, performances, any controversies we've seen as well, but in a really calm and quiet way. So I hope you enjoy this video, either just as a really calm football catch-up, a bit of a cosy sort of listening to someone talk about the recent matches and their opinion on them, or you can use it as an ASMR video and maybe even drop off to sleep. So up to you. Okay, let's look at the Champions League table. And once we finish talking about the results, we will take a look at the Europa League and then lastly the Conference League. Okay, so Bayern Munich are doing really well. They are top, Arsenal equally, and unsurprisingly Inter, who have just done so well in this competition over the last 4 to 5 years. Man City in 4th, Paris Saint-Germain in 5th. Newcastle doing a lot better in this than they are in the Premier League at the minute in 6th, Real in 7th and Liverpool in 8th. Galatasaray doing a lot better this season than last. Actually not last, the year before that. They're in 9th, Spurs in 10th, Barcelona in 11th. Interesting game, they got Chelsea next, that could be quite fun. Chelsea below them, Sporting, Borussia Dortmund, Karabakh, surprisingly in 15th, who have really earned it, they've done so well. They've got Napoli next. Then Atalanta, Atletico Madrid, PSV, Monaco, Pafos, the Cypriot team, they're doing excellently. Bayer Leverkusen, Club Brugge, Frankfurt and Napoli, who surprisingly are teetering with going out. Some big teams down here though, look. Juve, Athletic Club, Marseille, Saint-Gilloise, Bordeaux Glimt, Slavia Prague, Olympiacos, Villarreal, Copenhagen, København, Kairat, Benfica, and last but not least, one of the best teams in the competition's history, Ajax, having a terrible time, but they've just sacked their manager, John Heitinger, and they are looking for a replacement, so they've got a couple of matches, 4 matches, left to save themselves. But they're all kind of tricky, but the bottom 2, Benfica, another really huge European club, will not want to be in that position. The winner of the next match is a bit of a, 6-pointer, really. Okay, let's take a look at the last match day then. So round 4, Arsenal beat Slavia Prague pretty easily, 3-0. Saka with a penalty and 2 goals from the striker, not striker, Marino. Napoli drawing with Frankfurt 0-0. Atletico Madrid beating Saint-Gilloise 3-1. Late goal from Llorente when Saint-Gilloise thought they were about to get back into the match. Gallagher with a lovely goal as well on 73 minutes, and Alvarez with the opener. Sykes with the only goal for the Belgians. Bordeaux Glimt, plucky old Bordeaux Glimt, couldn't win at home to Monaco with Balogun with the only goal. They huffed and they puffed and they didn't play badly, but they eventually lost. Juve drew with Sporting, they're another team that have just sacked their manager. 1-0, Vlahovic with a lovely goal and Araujo with the goal for Sporting. Kind of surprising in the form that Liverpool are in, but McAllister with the only goal after he's had a personally sort of underperforming season as well. But it doesn't matter, Liverpool beat Real Madrid, so yeah, they've still got it in their locker, I guess. Very vociferous boos from the home crowd to Alexander Arnold as well on his return to Anfield. I know that lots of people have got their own opinion about that. To be honest, it's all a pantomime, isn't it? People pay their money and they see a player like that. It's totally up to them whether they want to boo him or not. I think Roy Keane weighed in and was like, no, they absolutely shouldn't be booing him. he's, given them X many years of his career and whatnot. But to be honest, I'm like, well, if you pay your money and you want to boom, boom, who cares? Olympiacos drew with PSV. Pepe with an equaliser in the last minute, 93rd, to cancel out Martin's earlier goal. Paris Saint-Germain lost at home to Bayern Munich. 2 goals from Luis Diaz, who's doing brilliantly since he moved. Then they had a man sent off and just, sort of did a very un-Bayern thing. And rather than defending on the halfway line, they actually defended further back for a change. And PSG really struggled to get through. Neves with a goal, but that's all they can manage, losing at home. And then the first player in British history, the first British player to do this, Brennan Johnson scored and they got sent off in the same match. I thought the sending off was probably to the letter of the law, but it was not a malicious challenge at all. But I'm glad he got his first ever Champions League goal from the aspect of a Welshman. Alderweireld also scored Van de Ven with that absolutely incredible goal. It was like Gareth Bale, but a central defender, sprinting from the outside of his own box, going through about 4 or 5 players and sticking into the back of the net. Like, he's had an incredible week. And then Balinha with an extra goal as well. He's not usually a goal scorer, but he's popped up with a couple now. So yeah, it was a really impressive performance. Copenhagen really struggling in this competition this year. Pafos then surprised everyone and beat Villarreal. Lucasen with the only goal in that one. Well done to them. Talking about surprises, Karabakh, after some fantastic results, namely that first game away to Benfica, drew with Chelsea, and at one point they were beating them as well. Andrade and Jankovic with the goals, Estevao with a lovely goal to open it before they then went 2-1 down. Brought on Garnacho and he scored the equaliser. And as much as Chelsea probably could have won it at the end, I think it would have been unfair on Karabakh, who looked fantastic and were winning all the second balls, and they were good for their money. Ajax having a stinker of a time, lost at home 3-0 to Galatasaray with a hat-trick from Victor Osimhen. And Ajax, as I said, have sacked their manager. Benfica lost at home to Bayer Leverkusen, who have started to pick up speed. Patrick Schick with a goal there. Club Brugge, I thought they should have won it. They had a goal right at the end, chalked off for fouling the goalkeeper. I mean, he literally just kind of flopped on the floor. And then he laughed about it afterwards. He's such a experienced, shall we say, player. I really, really thought that Club Brugge should have had the win, and they deserved it as well. They played so well. Tresoldi with the opening goal, Forbes with 2, Ferran with 1, Yamal with 1, and then an own goal from Solis. But yeah, I thought it was so unfair on them. I thought they were going to get the win. Inter beating Kairat struggled against this team that, have shocked quite a few people to get here in the first place, but yeah, they got it done in the end. Martinez with the opening goal and then Augusto with the second, cancelling out Arad's equaliser. Marseille lost at home to an Samardzic wonder goal. It did get looked at. I didn't quite follow what happened, but basically I think what happened was, did Marseille get a penalty shout and then 2 passes later Samardzic scored, and then they were looking at whether they were going to give a penalty and cancel out Samardzic's goal? Did I get this right? And so what seems to have happened is Marseille, not only did they not win the match from that decision, but then they actually lost the match. Whereas they, had it gone the other way, and I saw the penalty shout, and I was like, that's a penalty, right? So come on, I know I've got a lot of Marseille supporters here. Was it a penalty? Give me a little comment and let me know. I feel like that is a really harsh result. But yeah, I didn't watch the whole match. And Athletic Club struggling at this level, unfortunately. 2-0 win for Newcastle, who were struggling in the Premier League, but doing quite well in the Champions League, well done to them. Byrne and Joelinton with the goals. Okay, so looking ahead, we have Ajax Benfica. I think Benfica will think that they can probably get at least a draw, if not a win there. Galatasaray will probably think they can win at home to Saint-Gilloise, but you should not take them lightly. Depends on Juve, who they get in as a manager. Oh no, they've got Spalletti. Have they got Spalletti? Yeah. But he takes a while to get his tactics across. So it could be a bad result out in Norway. Dortmund should beat Villarreal. Chelsea-Barcelona is going to be brilliant. I'm hoping for a high-scoring draw. Man City will think at home they can beat Leverkusen, but Leverkusen are getting back to their best. Marseille will think that they can beat Newcastle at home. Slavia Prague, Athletic Club might be a draw. Napoli should beat Karabakh at home, but having some weird results at the moment. Copenhagen will absolutely hope that they can get at least a result here. Surely a win against Kairat, but obviously Kairat are tricky. Paphos will be buoyed by their last result. Monaco on paper should win, but Paphos might want to get a draw. Arsenal Bayern looks amazing. Again, hoping for a high-scoring draw, but with Arsenal's defence I don't see that happening. It'll be a good test, because we've said, can this Bayern team beat a defensively astute team with their attacking? It's basically attack against extremely good defence. Not that Arsenal are a defensive team at all, they're not, but I can't work out what's going to happen. It could just be a draw, but I think these two teams are going to be in the semi-finals at the minute. So it could tell us a lot about what's going to happen at that point. Very exciting. Okay, Atletico Madrid I think will lose at home to Inter, maybe draw. Frankfurt will leak goals, but Atalanta aren't great either, maybe a draw. Maybe a high-scoring draw. Liverpool will beat PSV Eindhoven, but they're in such poor form at the moment, I'm not sure they will. Olympiacos will be plucky but lose at home to Real Madrid. Paris Saint-Germain will win against Spurs, and Bruges will win against Sporting? Maybe. Okay, shall we check out the Europa League then? Here we go. So the Danes are top. Midtjylland are first. Freiburg in second. Ferencváros in third. Celta Vigo in fourth. Braga, Aston Villa, Lyon. Victoria Plzeň. Then in the playoffs we have Real Betis, PAOK, Bran, Dinamo Zagreb, Genk, Porto, Fenerbahce, Panathinaikos, Basel, Roma, Lille, Stuttgart, Go Ahead Eagles of the Netherlands, Young Boys, Nottingham Forest and Bologna. And currently out are Red Star, Crvena Zvezda, Sturm Graz, Celtic, Salzburg, Feyenoord, who have done really well in this competition the last couple of years, Ludogorets Razgrad, FCSB Utrecht, Malmö, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Nice, and down the bottom Rangers. Okay, let's take the last set of results then. So round 4. Basel beating FCSB 3-1, Dinamo Zagreb losing home to Celta Vigo 3-0, Midtjylland top because they beat Celtic 3-1, Ölic, Gogoza and Francolina were the goals, and the away goal for Hatate. And then Utrecht could only get a draw with Porto at home. Rodriguez, who's looked really impressive this year, with the goal for the home team, but then Sainz with the equaliser. Crvena Zvezda beating Lille 1-0, Malmö losing at home to Panathinaikos 1-0, Juricic with the only goal. Nice lost at home to Freiburg 3-1, Carlos with the home team, but the away team scored through Manzambi, Grifo and Scherhant. Graz and Nottingham Forest drew. Salzburg just beat Go Ahead Eagles 2-0 for Tessin and Terzic. Aston Villa beat Maccabi 2-0, goals from Matson and Donny Mahler. Bologna drew with Brann 0-0. Braga lost at home to Genk 3-4. Zalathar with 2 goals in Navarro, but then Heymon saw O and Medina for Genk. Ferencváros beat Ludogorets 3-1. Thessaloniki beat Young Boys 4-0. Roma on their first trip, this time to Glasgow because they'll be back for Celtic, beating Rangers 2-0, Soulé and Pellegrini with the goals. Real Betis 2, Lyon 0. Ezalzouli and Anthony, the GOAT, scoring for Real Betis. Stuttgart beating Feyenoord 2-0. El Khanous and Undav, 2 late-ish goals. And then Pilsen with another good result, this time against Fenerbahce 0-0. Looking ahead then, I think Aston Villa will win against Young Boys. Porto should beat Nice. Fenerbahce will just beat Ferencváros. Feyenoord Celtic, really important match for both teams. I think maybe a draw for that reason. Lille should beat Dinamo Zagreb. Celta Vigo should continue to win, this time away to Ludogorets. Brann are very good. PAOK will hope to win but might get a draw. Roma will want to win at the Stadio Olimpico against even top team Midtjylland. But they are sort of lacking a striker at the moment, so maybe it'll be a draw. Pilsen will want to get at least a draw against Freiburg. Bologna, who have started to pick up pace in Serie A, will want to win against Salzburg. I think Red Star will beat FCSB. Genk will beat Basel. I think Stuttgart will win in the Netherlands against Go Ahead Eagles. I think Lyon will win against Maccabi. Nottingham Forest will beat Malmö, who are in their off-season now. Panathinaikos should just about beat Sturm Graz. I think Rangers have started to improve, and they showed signs of it in the game against Roma, so they should win at home to Braga. And then tough one, Utrecht just beat Ajax in the league, but Real Betis away is really difficult, so I would think that Real Betis will win that one. Okay, and let's finish off by looking at the Conference League. We'll start off the table. Samsunspor from Turkey are top. Celje of Slovenia are second. 3 games played. Mainz are doing a lot better here than in the Bundesliga. 3 wins out of 3. Larnaca, Lausanne, Rayo, Strasbourg and Fiorentina also doing a lot better than in Serie A, within bottom. Crystal Palace, Shakhtar, Kups, who just won the Finnish division, Raków Częstochowa, Drita, Jagiellonia Białystok, AEK Athens, Sparta Praha, Nowa, Rijeka, Sigma Łódź, Universitatea Krajowa, Skandia, Lincoln, Lech and Dynamo Kiev make up the playoff spots. Outside are Legia Warszawa, who are doing pretty badly in Poland, Zrinjski Mostar, Alkmaar, Häcken, who just finished their domestic division, Omonia Nicosia, Shelburne, Shamrock, who just won the double, Breiðablik, Aberdeen, Slovan Bratislava, Hamrun Spartans, and surprisingly, Rapid Wien at the bottom. Okay, results then. So Shamrock drew away in Greece 1-1. Goals are from Jovic, penalty in the 90th minute to break Irish hearts, who thought they were finally going to get a win this year. They did so well last year. Burke with the penalty on the 21st minute, but a draw in the end. Larnaca drew with Aberdeen. Noah lost at home to Sigma Łódź 2-1. Kups beating Slovan Bratislava 3-1. Mainz doing poorly in Germany against Fiorentina doing poorly in Italy. 2-1. Hollebach and Lee with a 95th minute winner. Zom with the only goal for Fiorentina. Then we've got Celje, who beat Legia Warszawa 2-1. Goals from Josifov and Karnitsnik. Urbanski with the only goal for Legia. Samsunspor beating Spartans 3-0. Also Klinic and Muandil match. Shakhtar beating Breiðablik 2-0, Bondarenko and Elias. Sparta Prague drawing with Rakov Częstochowa. Crystal Palace beating Alkmaar 3-1, Lacroix and 2 goals from Saar. Mainons with the only goal for Alkmaar. Dinamo Kiev beating the Bosnians 6-0. I watched the first 20 minutes and thought it was really boring. Turned it off, watched a different match. And then Dinamo Kiev scored 6, so thanks for that. Popov, then Guerrero, Kavayev, Bujalski, Yarmolenko of West Ham, formerly, and Blanuta with the goals for the Ukrainian team. Häcken lost at home to Strasbourg 2-1. Dembe with the home team's goal, but the away team Enciso and Godo. Szkędzie drawing with Jagiellonia Białystok 1-1. Lausanne Amunia Nicosia 1-1. Lincoln Redims gets a draw in the competition, well done to them, against Rijeka, champions of Croatia. Gomez and Fruk with the 2 scorers, 1 for each team. Someone pointed out in the comment section, thanks for that. Fun fact, the only team in Europe, I think, the only situation where the team that won the league is below in a European competition the team that came second, because Dinamo Zagreb is in the Europa, but the champions Rijeka actually are in the Conference League. Rapid Vienna lost at home to Universitatea Craiova of Romania, Romanchuk with the only goal. Rayo Vallecano beat Lech Poznań. Isi de Frutos and Garcia with the goals, 94th minute winner to cancel out Palma and Kosobal's goals for the away team. And then Shelburne, 10-man, losing at home 1-0 to Drita from a goal from Aizerai. Okay, next couple of games then. Alkmaar will want to win against Shelburne. I think 2 of the little minnows against each other. Spartans against Lincoln Redims, maybe a draw. Lech will want to get a home win over Lausanne. Dinamo Kiev will want to continue their streak by beating Omonia Nicosia away. I think because Rapid Vienna's bottom, normally I'd say this is more even, but I think Rakov Częstochowa will want to win. I'm putting my money on Celje to get through, so I think Celje will get at least a draw away in Czech Republic. I think Rayo Vallecano will also win. I think Mainz will win. Zrinski, Mostar, Häcken, difficult, maybe a draw. Aberdeen will want to beat Noah at home. Samsunspor will want to win away in Iceland. Drita, Szkędia maybe cancel each other out and draw. I think Fiorentina will draw against AEK Athens, but it's difficult because they're doing so poorly in Serie A. I think Białystok to win against Kups. I think Sparta Prague might take advantage of Legia Warszawa's poor form at the moment and win. I think Rijeka will win. I think Shamrock are going to find it really tough against Shakhtar. I think Shakhtar will win. And that's a big one. Strasbourg against Crystal Palace. 2 of the teams I think will do really well in this competition. I think draw or Crystal Palace win. Okay, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you found my opinions interesting. Why don't you let me know some stuff that I don't in the comment section? Maybe tell me a reason why you think a different score will happen. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click that like button. It really, really helps the channel so much. And obviously subscribe, because we do these after every match day, apart from the previous one, which I forgot about. Well, I didn't forget, I just couldn't fit it in. Yeah, so we are catching up now, and we are ahead. I've done my predictions. Hopefully I can get another video out straight away after the next set of results, and we'll talk about those. Good luck to all the teams, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care. Don't forget to join me on Patreon if you love what I do and support the channel directly. But for now, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again really, really soon.